LegacyMaker, the all sports network.
The place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you'll be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em, fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel: Jay Quimby, Lamonte Thomas, James Brown, and special guest Mykell Ramos with Rolling with Ramos. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Episode 16 of Legacy on Fire here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. I'm your host, Darrell Owens, and I'm so glad to have y'all here with us on this Wednesday evening. Got a little finals about to creep up here. We got game 4 of the Bucks and the Suns coming up here soon. But before all that happens, we got to break down some Legacy on Fire with you today. And of course, I got an esteemed panel with me today. So I'm going to go around here and introduce everybody. First of all, I got my man, the co-founder of the LegacyMaker Sports Network and the co-host of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. What's up, Jay?
Just another day being blessed, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Next, I got the man who is the co-founder of the Commonwealth Sports Talk here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network, doing everything VA, baby. If you need your scoop, you know where to go. My man, Lamonte Thomas, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain.
All right. And, of course, my man, James Brown. He is our Inside Falcons reporter here. Does a little NBA, does a little NFL, does a little bit of everything. How you doing today, James?
Doing good, man. No complaints.
Awesome. And our special guest today, that's right, Miss Mykell Ramos of Rolling with Ramos. Mykell, how are you doing today?
I'm hanging in there, but I'm here with y'all. What's up, everybody?
Hey.
What's going on?
Very nice to meet you.
Yes,
nice to meet y'all as well.
It's going to be a fun one today. And of course, we always start off, ladies and gentlemen, with quick takes to kind of go around here 1 minute to kind of figure out what we got going on with quick takes. So we start the first one off today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Washington Wizards. The thing at hand is they're still trying to kind of figure out who that next coach is going to be for the team. And I just want your thoughts on who should be the next head coach of the team. We've been hearing a little bit about it, but I want to know where everybody think this one should go. So I want to start off with our guest first. Mykell, where do you think that Washington should go with this head coaching position?
Anybody but Scott Brooks at this point in time. It's time to throw the axe away. It's time to let it go. It's time. He was like Mark Jackson. He gave us the preliminaries of what we needed to see and what we needed to do in order to grow and put us in a certain stratosphere. And now it's time. He made those building blocks, but now it's time for them to go because we need somebody that's going to coach a complete team. And it's been real, but at this point, just as much as there's no stars that want to come to DC, we got to find a coach that actually wants to come to DC and it's alluring enough. I'm with all the black coaches going around. We're seeing what Monty's doing down here in Phoenix. It sucks that we couldn't grab Jason Kidd when we could have grabbed Jason Kidd. But who wants to? First of all, DC has such a bad salary cap. What coach will we be able to pay?
I see that's a really good question. LT, you're a little bit close to that. DC, we used to kind of hang around with the Wiz. What are your thoughts on this one, brother?
I got 2 candidates, man. One, I'm going Darvin Ham. He's an assistant for the Bucks. He's been an assistant for the Hawks. He's really good with player personnel. I think a first-time head coach would be really good for this Wizards team, somebody who can develop. My second candidate is going to be Wes Unseld Jr. Big ties to Washington, right? His father's a legend there. I figure he can come in. He's also been in the front office as player personnel for the Wizards as well. I think up until that 2014 year, he was there for a while. He helped turn their offense, into one of the, top 10 offenses for a little bit. So those are my two candidates, man, Darvin Ham and Wes Unseld Jr.
I like it. James, what are you thinking about on this one, brother?
Honestly, I feel like at this point, the Wizards should just pick anybody that actually wants to go to Washington. As was stated, I mean, they have a terrible salary cap situation. You don't know what you're going to do as far as constructing the team itself. Do you want to blow it up? Do you want to keep it going? So honestly, the Wizards should take whoever wants to be in Washington at this point.
Jay, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this, brother? Who should be the next head coach of the Washington Wizards?
I agree with Lamont on the Wes Unseld Jr. just because of the legacy, what his father built, being a player there. But why have we not seen a woman head coach yet hired? We talked about it. Everybody was interviewed. There's so many women out there that could do better than what anybody could in Washington. So why not give them a chance? You suck already. It can't get any worse.
Well, Becky Hammond came out and had a couple of comments herself and saying, hey, listen, if you're going to hire me, and I like how she approached it, because if you're going to hire me, just hire me. I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to push you.
Yeah.
And you're not going to just hire me because you're trying to base it off a demographic. You're trying to do this whole diversity thing. I know where the hell I've been. I know what the hell I've done. I know who I've done it under. And if Greg Popovich and her standing next to him don't do it enough for you and what she's done with the Spurs, I don't know what else you need to see in general. But minorities and whatever we need to talk about when it comes to these leagues, and a woman is a minority. Hey, if you're gonna talk about that, what we have to see is so far fetched. I don't know. It's like what else I got to do, baby? I done did it all. I done win the summer league. There's nothing else I need to show you. And to the disrespect that we continue to get this woman.
I want to see her in San Antonio. I feel like I want to see her take Greg's reins and
I just think that's going to be her spot. I agree. I think that's going to be her spot. Becky Hammond, the players know her. She's going to be comfortable going into there. The organization knows her. When Pop decides to take that step back, it just seems like the logical spot. I mean, I'm glad she's getting the interviews, but I think that's the logical spot for her. Me, in my opinion.
But okay, why not? Previous show I talked about Dawn Staley. Love her. She's done everything. She could take this just terrible situation and turn it into something great with some young players. I've watched her do amazing things down there. Why not bring her up to the league? Who gives a crap about demographic or it's a minority, we're doing it to please everybody? Screw that. She is a proven winner.
Exactly. Get her going. All right, y'all. Next one. Next topic we want to talk about is happening this week, y'all. It's happening this week. Space Jam. Space Jam 2 is supposed to be coming out on HBO Max on Friday, also in the movie theaters. It's something that's been talked about for a long time. We've heard people say, oh, man, it's finally, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We've seen the jersey reveals. There's a lot going on with it. So I know everybody's kind of got, something with this. So I'm going to start off with James, man. Are you excited to see Space Jam: The New Legacy?
Did you see LeBron's face right there? That's how I feel about Space Jam 2. I mean, I'm just not excited about it. I don't care. I mean, Space Jam 1 was great. Really loved what the atmosphere, what they did. And I feel they're just trying to make money. They're running out of ideas in Hollywood. That's it.
All right. James, what are your thoughts on this bad boy, man?
I mean, I actually am excited to see it. I mean, because you got to think when the original one came out, that was the early 2000s. So I was a kid. You had cartoons. You had Michael Jordan. You could mix sports with entertainment. I mean, it was a hit. So I want to see how it kind of parallels or contrasts from the original to the remake. And it kind of helps, too, with that GOAT debate. Is LeBron a better actor than Jordan? Does LeBron have a better Space Jam than Michael? I don't know. We'll have to see. I am excited, though.
That's a good one. LT, what are your thoughts on this bad boy? Space Jam 2, baby? What's the deal on it?
I'm excited, bro. It's for the culture, man. I feel like it's time. Like, if anybody is ever going to do it again, it has to be LeBron. When you think about it, like the kids that are growing up now, they didn't grow up on Michael Jordan, so that Michael Jordan Space Jam can't be meaningful to them. So seeing LeBron do it, I feel like that's going to be this generation's Space Jam, right? Like, and I feel like who are we to deprive them of that? So I'm excited. I want to see it. Like James said, I want to see the differences. I want to see, I want to see the spin on it in 2021. Let's do it.
Intrigued. Mykell, what are your thoughts on this? Space
First
Jam?
of all, I saw the pictures from the premiere, and I would like to give a personal shout out to the beautiful Savannah James, because she is a star. And if you didn't see her in that green dress, she was beautiful. But anyways, as far as Space Jam 2, I'm loving the times. I'm loving what they're doing with the times. As far as the last Space Jam had no women characters in it besides the one that are already in Looney Tunes, the cartoon. So now we're seeing Nneka Ogwumike and her sister Shanae Ogwumike. So we're having WNBA and NBA intertwined and coming together, and that was beautiful to see. Little girls can watch this and not just see LeBron James and Anthony Davis. How beautiful was that?
The green dress.
That's James.
I'm just trying to help her out.
And Zuri is beautiful too. And so what you'll be able to see is little girls will be able to watch this movie now and say, "Oh, I can be like her too." It's not just Lola Bunny. The issue, Jay made a point about we're just trying to. They don't have nothing to do in Hollywood. But this is the problem that us millennials. I'm 32, so this is the problem that us millennials we present, because in order for anything to be done, they running out of stuff. They have to recreate things to give us a nostalgia. I have a lot of friends that are saying that their kids are not going to like Space Jam, but just because we love it as a kid, we're going to go back and watch it.
But see, that's where the separation.
We're critical too.
Because I'm older. I'm 41, so for me, my girls grew up Michael Jordan, Kobe, and now I say LeBron James. They're like, I love his shoes, and that's all they care.
Well, you got to give them something else.
I will say, for me,
they're 18 and 20. They don't care.
For me, my biggest thing about this is the only problem I think I have an issue, and it may be because I just seen glimpses, is I'm not a fan of the court right now. I feel like the court looks a little bit small, but maybe that's because I haven't looked at the full preview. But I don't know, something about the court just makes it feel small. I felt like the first court, even though it was like obviously cartoonish, it felt bigger. I don't know, but the soundtrack is very important to me because that's I got some classics.
I'll change my mind if I get to see LeBron do one of his famous flops. That I'm good with it.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy you bring up the soundtrack, and you can't think about the Space Jam soundtrack without one name that everybody has borrowed from music. And it's crazy because it don't get no better than I Believe I Can Fly. And as much as you detest him as a human being, you cannot. I Believe I Can Fly. That's a graduation song. If you don't believe in nothing or yourself, that's a song to put the hell on, and it just sucks.
It's a good song, but Quad City DJs, The Train. I remember. That's a good one, but no, I agree with you. You're 100%.
It ain't Kells though.
It ain't
no.
I'm
agreeing. I'm agreeing, but I'm just saying there was one other song from that soundtrack.
Like I said,
Monica had a hit on there too, though.
Monica had a hit on there too,
She
though.
did have a hit on.
Monica had on there too.
She did have a hit.
Well, look, Space Jam comes out on Friday. I'm going to be watching. Me and the kids are already playing, and we're going to sit back and watch. It should be a good one on Friday. Now, we're going to swing to our next topic here on Quick Takes before I got to our main topics. Team USA. Now, Team USA did finally win a game in exhibition play, but they lost a very tough one to Nigeria in the first game, and then turned around and took an L to Australia. Patty Mills and the crew. So I want to go around the panel here and kind of get their thoughts on Team USA. Yes, they did get a W against against Argentina. I can't even say Argentina. Argentina. So they did get a win against Argentina, but the question is, can they bounce back from there? Can they get better? Can they make things rock and roll? I'm going to start this one off with James. James, what are your thoughts on this bad boy, man? Team USA, are they in trouble here?
I mean, looking at the first two games, it looks like maybe they were trying to shake off a little bit of rust. You do got to remember there's a group of guys that haven't traditionally played together. They may have scrimmaged together in the off season, but in a 5-on-5 basketball game, they typically haven't been together. They're trying to work together now to congeal together before the Olympics. I'm nervous. I'm not worried. I am nervous. I do think we're still the favorite to bring home the gold, but seeing those first 2 exhibition games, there's some work to be done.
Yeah.
Despite the win against Argentina, there's still some work to be done. And I'm a little nervous about not having a traditional big in the middle because a lot of the teams we're facing, they have that presence, and Team USA is kind of lacking it.
Yeah, very interesting on that one. Mykell, what are your thoughts on Team USA?
I think we're seeing a difference in a generation. First of all, we have to give you guys a lot of credit because they're coming in with condensed seasons, and we already are seeing what the injury prone, what the playoffs and everything that happened has done with these condensed seasons and the pandemic and coming back so soon. But at the same time, we're seeing a difference in the generation where Michael Jordan and everybody else and the guys, it didn't matter whether it was an exhibit, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, it didn't matter if it was an exhibition game or not. We going out and we still killing these dudes because we got a point that we have to prove and we have to set the tone for the rest of these Olympics. And this is the way it is. The pure dominance that we've seen other Olympic teams come in, you kind of, like James said, you become worried that they can't have that similar dominance because no one's looking at, if I can beat you in exhibition, and maybe they weren't taking it seriously. We all know how this generation likes to turn the switch on and off. You can't do that in international play because now you're playing for your country. It's a totally different thing than playing for a team. Not to mention Carmelo Anthony. How you feel about him now? You didn't want to call him then, did you?
Call him
How
up.
disrespectful could you do and how could you be?
All right, LT, what are your thoughts on Team USA, brother?
I agree with Mykell in that it's a generational difference now. If you look at it, the NBA itself has 2 finalists for MVP that are international, right? Like it's grown its brand so much, and now other countries are starting to catch up. Now, with that being said, I don't think it's too much to worry about an exhibition. I mean, I believe the Dream Team even lost, the 92 Dream Team even lost 2 exhibition games. So, I mean, that's that. But, when it comes time for it to count, they're definitely going to step up. But I do think it's a question to the leaders on this team, right? Is that now this generation has a bunch of certified ballers, but not necessarily some certified leaders, right? And I think that when you look at that, it's like you're kind of looking now like, well, does this translate to the next generation of the NBA, right? We need to see the next generation of leaders because the ones that we have are getting to the ends of their career.
Not only that, there was reports coming up saying that they were used to getting ticky-tack fouls, that they're used to getting in the NBA. When international play is totally different, you can't have that level of stardom up here. You got to play just to play like everybody else is playing. True. So,
Yeah, most definitely. Now, before I move on to Jay, I want to give a shout out to our man Snowman, Brian Snow. Just want to
Chicago.
What's up?
Gotta say we love you, brother. We know we found out yesterday that you got pancreatic cancer, brother, and I know that's a tough blow, but we are here for you, brother. We love you. Can't wait to have you on in 2 weeks. Just keep fighting the good fight, baby. # Snow Strong, baby. # Snow Strong.
And the prayers.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, Jay, before we move on and get to our main topics, what are your thoughts on this bad boy? What's your thoughts on Team USA?
I agree exactly with what I'm gonna mess her name up, Mykell. Mykell, sorry, said it's definitely generational because before it was hungry. Doesn't matter. It represents the way you are on the court, represents you as a person. Now they're all about, whatever it is, what it is. It doesn't count right now. We'll play when it counts. But this is where you practice, where you learn. And then also, with what LT said, it's universal because if you look at the All-Star game for Major League Baseball the other day, the MVP was from Canada or is Canadian. The closer was Canadian. And then the best pitcher was the winning pitcher was Japanese. So I mean that says everything right there. It's the USA has become more diversified. So they just need to put it together.
Now, Jay, now let me ask you this because I didn't get a chance to check on that. But who was the winning pitcher in that game? Was that my guy? Was that my guy?
No, that wasn't your guy. That was the Angels guy.
Okay, of course. I wouldn't be surprised. He's killing everything right now. All right, everybody. That was quick takes here on Legacy on Fire. Now, of course, we're going to head to our main topics. And for those who are joining us and trying to figure out what the deal is with the main topics, but this is how it goes here in the main topics. Each panelist will get 1 minute on each topic to give their opinion. And after each panelist have had their minute, we'll go back through and everybody gets 30 seconds to rebuttal, #fire back. And then, of course, at the end of this, we will have our put out the fire segment. So with this, we're going to start this one off, go back to the Wizards on this one and kind of talk about the situation in Washington, because now we got to figure out, we've heard the Westbrook rumors and saying, hey, Westbrook could be headed to LA. And we've heard this, we've heard that, even Bill may get talks for trades. But the talk is like, is it time for the Wizards to go through and just rebuild? They're getting a brand new head coach. Is it time to completely do this thing over? And we'll go ahead and we'll start this one off with Mykell. What are your thoughts on this?
See, this is the thing. You got two people that love loyalty and love wanting to be a part of loyalty and not wanting to leave. Bradley Beal saying he don't like change. He didn't want to leave before. This man almost could have been a Laker. You could have had a championship and not have to deal with this mess. Personally, I already feel a way about the Washington Wizards because as much as I love them being from D.C., how dare you disrespect John Wall? I understand he was out 2 years and you didn't know what he was going to do, but you took a chance on somebody you didn't even see yet and give him a chance to come on this court. You let your franchise go for a guy that you thought that was giving you the same thing, and it didn't work until the end of the season. I did not believe in that whole play-in thing. I felt like you were giving guys a chance that otherwise in the 8 seed situation wouldn't have been able to cut it. The Washington Wizards have not cut it in a long time. I'm sick and tired of them sitting on TV looking frustrated, looking disgruntled. If they were going to build around Bradley Beal, they should have been done it that first year after John Wall left. And you were saying that this is the guy you want to do it against, and you were going back and forth saying that John Wall isn't further it anymore. Stop complaining, get the job done. I'm sick and tired of it.
Awesome. I love it. Jay, what are your thoughts on this one? Is it time to make the magic happen?
Absolutely. I mean, but the problem is the salary cap. You got to find people that are going to eat this money and then still get something in return without, getting the short end of the staff. So, and this is a team, it's local. It's always on TV. I want to see them. It's almost comparable to where the Cavaliers are with Kevin Love. They brought in somebody and they got that contract. And what do you do with it? That there's so many questions and there's not enough young talent. Yes, Beal's only 28, but Harden's almost 34. Time to go.
All right. James, what are your thoughts on this on this topic, brother?
I mean, I feel like Washington has to go ahead and just blow it up. I mean, at this point, like we said, you waste your opportunity to build around Bradley Beal. I mean, he's certified himself as a superstar in the league, especially in the Eastern Conference, where it's weaker than the West, and you've had your opportunity to build around him. You've refused to do so. You haven't been able to draft the talent to put around him. You haven't been able to acquire the players via trade to put around him. And now to the point where you don't even know who wants to coach your team. So I feel like the Wizards should honestly blow it up, get what assets they can for the players they do have, try to build this thing from scratch, and maybe you get a situation where you're like the Knicks, where you bit the pieces, you get the players, and then maybe you start to attract that talent, you start to attract a coach, and you can start winning from the root up.
All right. Lamont, what are your thoughts on this bad boy?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a weird question because, like, you're talking about blowing it up. What are we exactly blowing up for in Washington? Like, most of the players there haven't been there long. So, you got, I mean, besides if you're talking about breaking up the Bill Westbrook thing, I mean, I get it. But I don't know. I think that I like some of the young players they do have. I like the Winston that they have. I like what's my man's name? Hachimura. Like, I like the young guys. I think they need personnel-wise, they need a big man that can run the floor, that can help. That'll always help, with the guard play that they got. And yeah, I mean, maybe they should move around some pieces, but I think the bigger question is who's going to lead this team. You got coach-wise, you got to lead a group of young guys, to get away from the same old.
That's true. That's true. Mykell, your chance to fire back.
The Wizards' best year was when they had John Wall, Bradley Beal. You could see that they were still trying to figure out what we're going to do together, and they were still young. Just be honest. Prior to Scott Brooks coming around, people thought that they didn't even like each other. And look what they were able to do with that court back there, and how beautiful it was. And then you have, I thought I'd never like a Celtic, but Paul Pierce and the veteranship that he brought to that team and what he was able to do. And you need somebody that's old enough and that's been there before, so they can be able to settle all the troops down. Hashimura's great, Bertan's great. I wasn't a fan of them letting go it's slipping my mind. Kelly Oubre, when that was the downside of that one. Letting him go first was the beginning of the Wizards' issues. I did not see why did that need to be done.
All right. Another guy, real quick, before we swing on, is Denny. I think Denny I always says Avagia. I could be saying it wrong, but Denny, I think is going to be a really good player. Jay, your chance to fire back.
You just stole who the guy I was going to talk about.
I'm sorry.
He was the number 9 pick. I thought they got a steal in him because I seen him as a top 5 guy, and he doesn't get the time on the floor. And I love Winston. They do have some small pieces, but you need more. Your depth is where you win championships. So they need that. And they got, I didn't even know one of the Lopez brothers was still playing. Damn, he old.
Lamont, your chance to fire back.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like they need, I'm with Mykell. They need veteran leadership there. I mean, even though I was there, best year that you're talking about, I was working with the Wizards. So I know exactly what you're talking about. The atmosphere was different. I mean, you did have Whitman as a coach who, even then, we all were like, we kind of know he's not it. But at the same time, they were thriving on the court, and I think that's what it gets back to. You got to have a good nucleus there to put fear in other teams.
All right, James, your chance to fire back.
I mean, when you're in the NBA, the only way to really build, it seems now, for a younger team, you have to do it through the draft. And in order to do that, you have to have a good enough draft pick. And the way the Wizards are currently constructed, they're always going to be competing for a playoff spot. So they're never really going to be high in that lottery to get a type of player that can come in and change the organization. So I feel like that's why you do have to blow up, at least get rid of Bill or Westbrook, because maybe then you have the opportunity to build your young players, but also compete to get that draft pick, because the way it's set up with the draft lottery, that's the only way to really get it done.
And can I add this? And can I add this too? One last thing. We got to also talk about the fact that the Wizards also aren't alluring to any stars. Kevin Durant did not want to come home, and look what the dagger that put into everybody's hearts. In order to want to have certain stars come to DC, you got to be winning. You got to be propelling. No stars want to come to DC because they're not finding it in the championship aura. And John Wall, I will say this: people want to come play with John Wall. I'm not sure to a degree how many people wanted to play for Bradley Beal. I'm not sure if Russell Westbrook came to DC because nothing else made sense.
I say that's what I'm saying. The whole situation is crazy there. The Mystics get a championship before the Wizards did, and so I mean, hey, the Mystics have been doing good things there, and can they just get things back? It's like DC teams are having a nice little streak. The Nationals were doing good. The Mystics that won a championship, the Capitals that won a championship, and the Wizards and the Washington football team still on the outskirts looking in. All right, next
football team's looking good though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. On the next topic, we're going to talk about Conor McGregor, ladies and gentlemen. It was a tough go for Conor on Saturday. Conor's been in most people's lives. He's been a loudmouth the last couple of years. He talks a lot of trash. Majority of the time, he can back it up, but the last couple of fights have not been great. So the question at hand is Conor McGregor's career over? Because it's starting to look that way. But I'm going to ask you guys first. So, James, I'll start with you. Is Conor McGregor's career over with?
Maybe as a fighter in the MMA, but I feel like as an entertainer, no. I mean, Conor's still a great salesman. He can sell you practically damn near anything, maybe except for him winning a fight. But I feel like he still has a chance to come back. Most people are speculating he'll probably be out to a year trying to rehab this injury. Maybe during that year off, he refines himself. He finds that Conor McGregor that we all grew to love, in a sense. maybe he can get back in the ring. But right now, his ring career is looking bleak. His career outside of the ring, I believe he still has room to grow there.
All right, all right. LT, what are your thoughts on this bad boy? Is it time for Conor to hang it up?
It might be in the ring. I agree with James. He's not going to be the same fighter that he was, young, hungry Conor McGregor. I mean, think about it. His, net worth, they say, is around $120 million. I mean, you're getting in the ring to fight. And, I mean, when you have that kind of money, what motivation do you really have? Versus the person on the other side of that ring, they're where McGregor used to be. They're hungry, right? They want to fight. They want to make a name. He has a name already. So, yeah, I think that, it's getting to be the end of him fighting. But like James said, other things may come.
All right, Jay, what are your thoughts on McGregor, man? Is it time to hang it up?
I think it is. LT's correct. You got money in the bank. Start making commercials, planning for the future. I mean, the injury is bad, and somebody that has had hip surgery himself, that is not an easy injury to come back. Even if you're fully rehabbed, your chances of re-injuring, especially the way he fights, are exponential. Stay healthy, keep the health you got, and live a good life.
All right. Mykell, we head to you on this one. What are your thoughts on Conor McGregor?
I think when he fought Floyd Mayweather, he must have took some business points back, because I think he understands the influence that he has on the sport. He knows that his face there alone is going to sell tickets, and whether or not he wins or loses the bouts at all. Granted, I'm pretty sure he wants to win, and everybody wants to see him win. But at the same time, have we seen the epicenter? Have we seen the top flight of his career? Have we seen him in his prime and we've seen him at the top? Yes, we've seen him already, and we've seen him go into another sport. And what that was brought about too. I think it's time to wrap it up and move on, and maybe try to look at some other things and use your name in another platform. I think his platform in UFC is it's coming to the end of his rope. I think he's already done everything he's supposed to do. There's nothing else he wants to fight for and is fighting for. When he got out the ring, he was laughing and joking and looking at his injury. It's not like he was like, I'll be back, I'll do this. He was ready to go.
They're like, man, I'm hurt. Man, I'm good. James, your chance to fight back, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like everyone said. He's made his money. At this point, maybe he just wants to see what's next in his career. Honestly, I feel like, he has that chance to maybe cross over. Maybe he could do something media related. Maybe he can start his own platform. Maybe he can go into movies, become an actor, because, his acting career might be able to take off due to the fact he acted like this is what he wanted. So I feel like he maybe starts looking towards what's next for him. But it's going to be interesting to see what he does. I'll give you that.
Acting career, we can barely understand what he says when he's yelling into the mic, man.
Hey, some people have figured it out, man. Idris Elba.
Fight back, Jay.
I mean,
Idris Elba.
I mean,
have you heard Idris talk? He can turn it on. He can turn it off. People, those accents, man, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's better American actors that are from other countries than American actors, because
they don't have the appeal of Conor McGregor.
Look at Snowfall and look at
I'm with James on this, though.
But they don't have the appeal of Conor.
People love his face. Put some subtitles on
Conor McGregor.
They love his face. Yes, they love to punch his face.
They love to see him talk trash. Be real. They love to see it. Just like Floyd. They love it.
So you're going to go watch a movie for 10 minutes of trash talking?
10 minutes?
Depending on the movie, yeah.
Yeah. Talk all day. Let him talk.
I mean, movies like The Hangover, part 1 through 3. I mean,
he's going to be
make the perfect villain, though. Tell me he not make the perfect villain.
What about this? So, do you see him being, like I said, and Lamont said it, perfect villain in the movie? I mean, I can see him doing
what? Fast and the Furious
10. Conor McGregor.
Fast and the Furious
exactly. Yes, I was going to say that.
Fast and Furious 10.
Oh my gosh, Fast and the Furious 30.
Hey, if Conor can drive, he can do it. If he can prove that he can drive Fast and the Furious 10.
Oh shit. That's great. I was laughing, my fucking light fell. That's great.
before we move on, did y'all want to fire back, or you feel pretty good on what you just said on that end?
How we feel about Shabbat?
They're good with it.
All
All right.
right. Wait, hold on.
What you got, James?
Can
What you
we
got?
all agree that we would watch an MMA fight in Fast and Furious 10 between Vin Diesel and Conor McGregor?
Oh,
You
yeah.
would watch it. Or if The Rock was like tag team and The Rock got in there too, you would watch it.
I mean,
You
most
would watch
definitely. Most definitely.
watch it.
This is all about family.
They need
And
to
Conor
cut
can be
that
a part of the
brand
family
off.
too.
All about
Conor
family.
can be a part of the family.
Fast and the Furious been getting by for a minute. Like, let's be real.
Cut it
Like, they've been
off.
putting this unrealistic bull crap in these movies. And it's
Cut it off.
man.
Vin Diesel got it here.
Yeah.
And The
Now,
Rock took it here.
wait. Time out.
Conor can take it up.
What you got, James?
Darrell, I would actually probably, instead of watching that, I'd watch Space Jam 2.
Wow. Look, before we move on to this next topic, I had something come across my phone here that I want to give everybody a chance to talk about real quick. Bradley Beal has entered health protocols at the Olympics, and it's uncertain if he will be back at Team USA camp. So that's a little bit tough right there for USA to lose Bradley Beal. But they have entered him in the protocol. Anything anybody want to say on that real quick?
Is it because are we looking at COVID or because he looked fine the other day?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know if he's been in contact.
Tokyo stuff has gone up and
Yeah.
And that's, so we don't know if that's the case, but it says Wizard Star status to return to play uncertain after entering health and safety protocols. So he may have been around somebody. We don't know. So that's going to be our situation that we're going to have to keep our eyes on.
that has to be that, because if it was a ankle injury, we wouldn't even be talking about this. They would have come out and straight said it.
Exactly. That's something that. Carmelo.
Are we even going to have Olympics?
Go call Carmelo. We already.
How dare you tell that man, the most winningest guy in Olympic play? Look what he's done for USA basketball. Look what he is internationally. How dare you, at the lowest of his career, tell him you didn't want him? How you like him now?
The disrespect.
Tell him, Mykell. Tell him.
They're gonna have to start begging for him now. All right.
The audacity, not even the dance.
The fire, bro.
The next topic that we're gonna bring up today, ladies and gentlemen, the NFL season is fastly approaching. I try to make sure we get some type of, NFL type of talk in here.
They're like layers of bricks.
I know basketball. I know basketball is the main fire right now, but NFL season is slowly creeping in, and I want to hear from the panelists here on who they think their breakout star is going to be this year. And I'm going to start this one with Mr. Quimby. Jay, who's going to be the breakout NFL star this year, sir?
Okay, so I had to dig deep. I went through. There's a lot of teams that got some interesting guys that could step up with veterans retiring or changing teams. But for me, I'm going with Alex Highsmith, the outside linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3rd-round pick last year. Loved him out of UNC Charlotte. He was a walk-on, 2-year All-Pro for their small division. I don't even know what it is. And when Dupree was out, he had 4 sacks. He played. And, playing the opposite side from TJ Watt, one of the top 3, we'll say, pass rushers in the league. If he can make something of it, I mean, he can make all types of money. That's all I'm saying. I mean, he was one of my sleepers in last year's draft, too, by the way.
TJ Watt. I'm not even going to talk about that. Not even going to talk about LT. Who is your breakout star coming in this 2021 season in the NFL?
Well, I'll keep it simple. I think there's some of the quarterbacks may be able to break out this year. I really like Herbert and what he did last year with that Chargers team. I think they had Eckler in and out of the lineup. I think that he's going to be able to break out now, that he has a whole season to himself. I also think that Kyler Murray, a lot of people have moved to Arizona because they specifically said they believe in him. And I think that's big. That's big for, the guys who you respect in this game, telling you that you believe in them and they believe that they can go somewhere. I like what Arizona's doing. I think that he can break out as well.
I like that one. I had him as my breakout last year. He semi-breakout last year. I
think this is the year for him.
This is the year. We talking about MVP talk.
I'm with it.
There you go. James, give me your breakout NFL star for this upcoming season.
All right. I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer on this one. I'm gonna take Calvin Ridley. I mean, you got to think he finally gets a chance to be wide receiver number 1 in Atlanta. The only thing good about Atlanta in recent seasons has been that passing attack, and now he gets the star in that. Julio has moved on, so Calvin is wide receiver number 1 now. And odd enough fact, last year in games where Julio didn't play, Calvin actually put up better numbers in games where he did have Julio opposite him. So I feel like, honestly, if Matt Ryan can stay healthy and if Calvin stays healthy, we could possibly see him go for, 1,400 yards, maybe 10 tugs. I mean, that possibly get Atlanta maybe 10, 11 wins. Maybe even first or second in the South over the Bucs. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
I'm having it.
Mykell.
I can dream. I can dream.
There's nothing wrong with dreaming, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with dreaming. Mykell, what are your thoughts on this? Who is your breakout NFL star coming into this season?
He led with Julio Jones has left. I finished with thank God because I don't know how long he could suffer under that dome of minimalism. Anyways,
Yes.
I'm gonna start the clock over on that one. That's
hopefully
great.
Matt Ryan has a good year. How overrated? Let it go. It's roll tide and down to the right. I don't know what's going on in Atlanta. Stop it. I need to stop it. But I do want to go in there and get a hot dog. I heard it's like $3. But anyways.
No, you don't deserve a hot dog.
It was like $3.
I will buy you 10 hot dogs for that. Yeah.
Clean the dirty bird.
I heard the food is very manageable in that stadium, and I love a good place where I can get food on the low and enjoy a game. And that's what you get in Atlanta.
Look, they got a Chick-fil-A. They got a Chick-fil-A.
Go talk to the dirty
Chick-fil-A ain't
bird.
open on Sundays, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even open on Sundays. There you go. How backwards is that? Come on.
Go back to the
fans
dirty
voted
bird.
for
I
it.
didn't
The fans
know.
voted for
I
it.
don't know how long Julio Jones was going to suffer there, and oh man. Anyway,
more suffering than he did. He went on
I'm gonna leave you alone and move up the East Coast because we talking about a team that has no name. I was kind of the Washington football team kind of grew on me. Now you about to pull up some whack thing. I hope it ain't whack. The Wolverines wasn't that bad. I wasn't figuring it, but Chase Young broke out last year. It sucked to have to let go of Ryan Kerrigan in that defense. I feel like the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins, took a lot of Ryan Kerrigan's years without giving him somebody on that other side that can combat with him. And by the time he got somebody, he was ready to move on to get some bigger bucks, and it was something internal going on, and he had to go, and that really, really sucked because a guy like Chase Young needs Kerrigan, and Kerrigan's career will have longevity with him there. But Chase Young now has that defense, and he has that defense all to himself, and for the first time in a long time, it looks like the boat. I'm riding the boat. I don't care what the hell happens. Ron Rivera, Dan Snyder, stay upstairs. We heard your name in how long? Good freaking job. But
all right, Jay.
My second one go-to if somebody picked mine was I was going to go Antonio Golden Gandy because he's learning from Terry McLaurin, and they're finally going to get an offense up there in DC that they deserve.
Yeah.
And they have the chance to break out. Antonio Gibson was amazing last year. So, I like it. Now, I agree with the Bolts with Herbert, with LT, because that defense is finally going to be healthy for maybe one game.
LT.
I love it. I love it, man. You know I love it. You know why I love it.
I know why you love it.
No, but I don't know. I mean, I like everybody's, viewpoint. I can get with it. Calvin Ridley, give him a chance. Washington football team and Dan Snyder. Okay.
Just as long as he stays upstairs in that nice little box, baby, and writes the ain't worried about nothing.
Listen, he is the equivalent to the Chancellor in Star Wars. I feel like he can always make something happen.
Palpatine.
Like, he's Palpatine,
He
bro. Now
makes
look at his
Jerry
power.
Jones look like
You just compared him to Palpatine, man.
That's what I'm
Come
saying.
on.
Run up Palpatine.
Damn, Palpatine didn't have his wife come take control of everything.
No, I mean, she's his Anakin, right?
Well, it's verse 6.
Oh shit!
He's trying to make sure that thing keeping the family. He's only gonna do the.
That's it.
We'll see how that goes. James, a lot of things were said. This is just your chance to fire back, sir.
I mean, a lot was said. You know, it's hard being a Falcons fan out here. I don't know what we did to people. Like
28-3.
The attack.
I was gonna say it. Thank you.
I get what we did to people, but it's like, yo,
And
you
y'all
don't have to
ain't
live
been the
with that.
same since.
We know that too. We know that too. Okay.
The same
know.
people, the same
know.
squad. You playing the dome. You don't have to deal
We
with
know.
weather. It's
I
over.
like-
How you not winning? The
I like you
AFC
being
South
in
won.
my
You know, it's hard to
division
win
and
when there's no
sucking.
defense, or when your defense doesn't know how to play defense. or when
Actually, most of your
offense finally
defense
gets you a
now
lead.
plays in Dallas.
That might be a good thing. That might actually be a good thing because now we can actually get somebody who can play defense, who stays healthy. I mean, you know, if Washington wants to trade us a pass rusher, I'll take that. Hey, we're talking about the Bolts. You know, if Derwin James happens to get nicked up again, I'll trade for him. You know, maybe he can stay healthy in Atlanta. Jay, you know, you got some extra players down there in Tampa Bay. You know, if you want to send somebody up, we'll
I
take
like
it,
who I
'cause,
got.
you
I'm
know,
good, bro.
You
we
was
need somebody on
talking
defense.
about combusting DC. Combust the hell out of the Falcons. We got to figure something out.
You better hope Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't combust for 4 interceptions. Because if he goes Fitzpatrick, your whole season
Ryan
up in
Fitzpatrick
DC.
coming off the bench is the best quarterback ever.
Ryan Fitzpatrick
He
and
ain't
Matt
gonna be coming off
Ryan
the
was
bench.
supposed to be
starting.
Matt Ryan was supposed to be the Messiah. All this, he's gonna do this.
I bet
He's
you'll
the
take
next
Matt Ryan
coming
over
of the-
Fitzpatrick.
He's the next
Any
coming
day.
of such and such.
Any day.
Come back.
Frozen.
Come back.
He's
After
freezing.
Fitzmagic has gone 2 for 10 and 6
You
goddamn
up 28-3.
Come-
You don't
come back.
have the
You've
guts
never
to
been
tell
up
them that
28
you
to 3,
gonna
man.
run the
James-
ball.
You have
James-
never been up 28 to 3,
You're-
man.
James,
You
you're
haven't
saying
even
this,
seen
but
that
you haven't seen
close
enough of
2015.
Tyler Heineke. Heineke has been great. He was the hardest quarterback that we played against last year.
That ain't none of them
And-
Ryan though. I'm just saying.
And you would still
Julio Jones
thank
was
you.
just suiting
Thank
up
you,
because
Lamont.
he's there. You know,
You gotta keep it in perspective. The Falcons have been bad, but
Hey.
Matt Ryan's got to the big game.
Hey, for all the crap that y'all give Matt Ryan, Julio put up numbers with Matt Ryan. We'll see what he does without Ryan. But Matt Ryan and Julio has been one of the better connections in the NFL for the last
the
10
only
years.
reason y'all stay
Go
look up the numbers.
because
Go
Julio
look up the
Jones
numbers.
was catching stuff
Go
he
look up the
wasn't
numbers.
Get him,
supposed to.
James.
He
Get it,
technically
James.
still has Ryan Tannehill. We're gonna see how it go there. We're gonna see how everything go there. Now,
We're going to do that, though.
we're
We're going to want
just
Tannehill.
put it out there. Now, Mykell, before we move on, anything else you want to say before we move on to the next? So she's like, I'm good. All right, so I'm gonna throw
She
this
said
out
she'll
there.
take any of our quarterbacks over hers.
You want him that bad? That's how bad you talking about us, right?
Oh,
Because
shit.
on paper,
No.
we still look better than the Falcons, who are still going to be at the bottom of the NFC
Until your
South.
quarterback throws
You
5
play in a
interceptions.
dome. You don't got to deal with weather. You got Matt Ryan. Woo! What's the problem?
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna throw mine out
We'll
there.
resume this conversation weeks into the season. We'll see
Well,
what happens.
Have your people,
This conversation
have your
weeks
people
into-
call my people. I ain't afraid of you,
Do
brother.
we play
Call
Washington?
me.
Good luck,
play
James.
Have your people call your people. Call me. I'm around. He got my number.
Stamp
Fine.
this
Yeah.
conversation.
Now,
Somebody stamp this conversation.
we got. Hey, it's on YouTube. It's gonna be on YouTube. Now I will say this. The only thing I got is I'm hoping
I
that
don't forget nothing.
look, Aaron Rodgers ain't back. Come on, Jordan Love. Break out.
Mykell is loose. I like it. Where'd she go?
Oh,
She's too
I
high.
promise I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
James, what'd you do, bro?
What did you?
I didn't do it. I'm not even the host.
She getting in the car
not
right
even
now to
host.
come whoop your ass.
Hey, bro. All I know
Hey,
is
maybe I don't know.
Mykell
Maybe
is
she
good
angered
for this
somebody
show.
in Atlanta.
Oh, man, that's
Maybe
great.
we have an Atlanta hacker that kicked her out. I didn't do it. My
I
answer
like
here.
Mykell, man. She go hard.
I don't know.
It's like the first time we got a girl on here that was, not yelling quite like Rob. And
She
then
goes again, bro. I think she would tear Rob apart.
I would like to see that actually.
I think I might have to. We might
I would
have
like
to.
to see that.
Rob's afraid of
money on Mykell.
Hey, Rob's
Jeez.
afraid of women.
Mykell goes hard, bro.
So she's trying to get back on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take our next segment. Hopefully she'll be back on before the
Are
next
we
segment.
going to the fire pit? It's so fucking
you
dumb.
already know so.
Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
Yeah, the fire pit, baby. So look, as we wait for Mykell, hopefully she can get back on here. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to put out the fire. So James, I know you took a lot in this one. I'm gonna let you start off first, brother. I know you got to get some stuff off your chest. James, go ahead, brother, and put out the fire.
I mean, one day the Falcons will rise up again. I'm waiting for that day. And until then, I'm just going to continue to support my team through thick and thin, through 23 blown leads, through blown leads at half in the regular season. We will finish a game one day.
Oh, damn, she
We
back.
will finish a game
James,
one day.
you
We
in
will
trouble.
finish the game one day. James, is that you putting out the fire, or is you just?
No.
I don't know what happened. Everything.
Man,
just
I don't
went
have enough
away.
extinguishers for this fire at this point. I don't have enough.
What did I miss?
No, don't
You
worry.
don't-
You didn't miss that much. You didn't miss that much. We about to put out the fire. All
You
right.
miss James dumping a whole bunch of gasoline on everything you just said.
There it
All
goes.
right.
So that's
LT,
what you do. You wait till I have a malfunction.
No. He was actually agreeing with you. He was owning his
Whoever
fire.
kicked her the first time,
That's what that
Help your
was.
brother out. Whoever kicked her the first time.
You know what?
no.
You know what? It's my fault. I'm sorry.
No,
That's
he
all
was
right.
he was owning it. He was owning it.
Mykell, you can't apologize. You were killing it.
I really ain't sorry. I just was trying to be nice.
I really ain't
No,
sorry.
it was great. All right.
Week 4. Week 4. That's all I got to say.
Lamont, it's your chance to put out the fire, brother.
All right. You know what? This one's for you, Darrell, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But free Aaron Rodgers. Okay, look, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this narrative. I'm tired of the whole he don't want to be there. Yeah, I get it. We know that, but I think if it was any other player, what they used to do is bash the player. They used to put it on them. They used to throw him out and say it's this, that, the third. And with Aaron Rodgers, he became a guy that people like, and now it's hard for them to do, so they can't spin the narrative. It works both ways. Free the man. He don't want to be there for you.
I'm going to say this. He is still yet to request a trade. So we'll know in a couple of weeks if he requests a trade or not. All I can say, if that does happen, in Jordan Love we trust because we ain't got no choice.
I mean, I'm gonna be mad. if he ends up in Vegas, but free him. I don't care.
Oh no, don't do that. Oh look. All right. We're gonna
We
switch.
know why you want him free, Lamonte. We know why you want
Yeah,
him free.
because everybody just keeps saying he's going to Denver. Jay, your chance.
That's the only reason.
Okay.
No, it's
We talked about this when he got hired as the head coach of the Jaguars, and guess what? It's followed Urban Meyer. More drama and more. He's been subpoenaed by an Iowa court for the former head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes that he hired and then dismissed at the same time. Urban Meyer, everywhere he's went, from Florida all the way up, there has been controversy and there's been bullshit. They should have never brought him in.
Yeah, this is a tough one right there. Urban Meyer, man, always jacking up. All right, so we go to our special guest, Mykell. This is your chance to put out the fire. I know you got something burning. Let's see what you got. Put out the fire, Mykell.
All this Chris Paul slander needs to go away. Obviously, if you have a problem with Chris Paul, then you have a problem with you, because I don't understand how you're not looking at this Phoenix Suns team and saying that he is not the catalyst for what is going on with them right now. I'm not saying that Booker is bad. I'm not saying these young dudes didn't know what they were doing. But then last year when they left the bubble, we were looking at them as a team that could make a wave, and we were looking at them as young guys that were going to build a legacy towards the future. Right now, they're building their legacies right now, and they're doing so because of Chris Paul and his veteranship and his leadership. We talk about leading veterans and what DC doesn't have. Look at what Chris Paul has been able to do. Houston sent him to Oklahoma City, and that was supposed to be career suicide. Look at what Oklahoma City was able to do, and look what they're not doing now. Let's stop it. He's going to be a front runner to one of these front offices one day. Chris Paul is leading the nation because he about to get, and somebody else from that banana boat has to get a chip. Why not him? It's his time. Y'all need to shut up. Y'all need to stop it. No more Chris Paul slander.
I love
Amen.
it.
Amen.
I can't say anything else but stuff. I love it. Now, look, I'm gonna put out the fire, but I got it on one issue here, and that is now that the NCAA has let the players go and they made their money, it's time to give Reggie Bush his Heisman Trophy back.
Let's go.
That USC team absolutely amazing.
We talked about this, Darrell. There's implications with that because there's got to be another person that's got to be allowed back in their sport.
That's true. I understand that.
Give Michigan State theirs too. All their wins back.
I mean, if everybody got it, I want everybody to get their wins back. They deserve it. But Reggie Bush was one of the best college players coming out there. Everybody was excited about Reggie. Reggie got his stuff taken away, and I think he deserves it back. And all those people that have lost because they couldn't make money or they had to do this, I'm going to throw a guy out there a lot of people may not remember, but my man growing up was Chris Porter from Auburn. Chris Porter was one of the best players in the nation on that Auburn team back 02, 03, like 01. It was early 2000s. That man was phenomenal, and he didn't have money for his family. So he did what he had to do to help take care of his mom when they weren't giving him any money while he was, he didn't have any money when he was at Auburn. They weren't taking care of this man, and this man's stock dropped in the NBA. He was a top, he was a lottery pick and went all the way down, was drafted 55th, I believe, by the Golden State Warriors. He didn't get a fair shake. He was one of my favorite players growing up. I hated for him. Give Reggie Bush back. All those players that did they could. I mean, Terrell Pryor, you name them, all of them did something. They was trying to survive. They're trying to make money. Give them their rewards back. Change it all out.
Plus, if we talk about that, we want to talk about the implications of Black Lives Matter and what minorities really truly mean to both football and basketball, because they're truly using the sport to get out of harsh conditions. That's what you're doing in giving back his Heisman. That's what you're doing and what it stands for, because our faces make these leagues. So stop it.
Get him.
Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode 16 of Legacy on Fire here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Before we go, I want to give everybody a chance to say their goodbyes. LT, is there anything you got to say before we go, brother?
No, I just appreciate you guys. Appreciate being on another classic, another good one. Mykell, you killed it. Welcome to the show. I love it. You gotta come back.
Yes, most definitely. Now, Commonwealth Sports Talk coming back in about a week, right?
Season 5 coming soon.
Yes, sir. That's right. James, anything you want to say before we go, brother?
This was fun. I had fun. We definitely got to get Mykell back, though. I mean, I loved it. The energy she brought. It was hot. It was hot for a moment. It's cooling off now, but I don't mind being in the kitchen. We can do it. We can run it back.
About week 5, right, James? Week 5?
Week 5, 6, week 1. Bring her back.
Bring her back.
Let's get it.
James, anything you want to say, James?
No, I agree with the other gentleman. It's been a blast, blessing. We definitely need to get you and Rob on here because I want to watch you make Rob cry. Please.
Yeah, we
got to pop on that.
I definitely need to see that.
I'm not glad. It definitely has.
We could sell that. Tickets to that. That's like Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather.
Right. If we can get Conor for
that's
promo, on that, we might can make some money.
You know what? Mykell, before we get out of here, anything you want to say?
First of all, y'all giving me too much credit, and he's making me feel like I fried a falcon. I'm confused. But
you might have clipped a couple wings.
In any event, thank you for calling me. I'm glad I was able to answer the call. Thank you.
Yeah, look, man, we've been waiting months, and I said, when I first saw your stuff, I said, yeah, we got to get her on. Finally glad. Welcome to the Legacy on Fire family, Mykell.
Thank you. And PETA, by the way, she really didn't fry a falcon.
All right, everybody. I'm your man, Darrell Owens. It's the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Legacy on Fire. We won't be back next week. We won't be back till July 28th. We'll have Snowman on. We got some other people coming on. I believe Joe Diller's going to be on that one as well. Still compiling the guests. Me and Jay are heading down to the ACC Media Day next week, so we won't be in there. We will have a podcast down from there. We will be talking down there, so be ready for all the highlights from that. I'm your man. Yes, I'm Darrell Owens, LT, my man Quimby, Mykell, James.
God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen.